All professional athletes are remarkable. However, there are the exceptional few whose greatness and talents go beyond anything ever seen before in the game. Living legends whose stature and poise transcend time. True generational talent. True legends of the game. Today we will be exploring the greatness of Jaromir Jagr. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the action. Now smoke and ice with Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr was born February 15, 1972 and is a Czech professional hockey right-winger who is both a player and the owner of retired Kladno of the Czech Extraliga, ELH. He previously played in the National Hockey League for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Dallas Stars, Boston Bruins, New Jersey Devils, Florida Panthers and Calgary Flames, serving as captain of the Penguins and the Rangers between 1990 and 2018. After leaving the Rangers in 2008, he played 3 seasons in the Continental Hockey League, KHL, with Avangard Omsk. He returned to the NHL in 2011 with the Flyers and remained in the league for 7 more years before being assigned by the Flames in 2018 to HC Kladno. Having played in 35 professional seasons, as of 2023, and over 2,000 professional games, Jagr has had one of the longest careers in professional ice hockey history. He is the most productive European player who has ever played in the NHL and is widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. Jagr has the second most points in NHL history, after Wayne Gretzky, in 1990, at age 18, he was the youngest player in the NHL. Until his transfer, at age 45, he was the oldest player in the NHL, and is the oldest player to record a hat trick. In 2017, Jagr was named one of the 100 greatest NHL players in history. Jagr was the 5th overall selection in the 1990 NHL entry draft. He won consecutive Stanley Cups in the 1991 and 1992 seasons with the Penguins. Individually, he has won the Art Ross Trophy as the NHL scoring champion 5 times, 4 times in a row, the Lester B. Pearson Award for the NHL's Outstanding Player as voted by the NHL Players Association, NHLPA, 3 times and the Hart Memorial Trophy as the league's most valuable player once, while finishing second 4 times. Jagr is a member of the Triple Gold Club, individuals who have played for teams that have won the Stanley Cup, 1991, 1992, the Ice Hockey World Championships, 2005, 2010, and the Olympic gold medal in ice hockey, 1998. Jagr is one of only 2 Czech players, the other being Jiří Sláger, in the club, achieving this feat in 2005. Jagr was the Czech Republic's flag bearer at the 2010 Winter Olympics. Jagr is also one of only 3 players from 1981 to 2001 to win the Art Ross Trophy as the leading point scorer during the regular season. The others are Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Jagr has won the award more times than any other non-Canadian player. He is a member of the Czech Ice Hockey Hall of Fame. Jagr began skating at age 3, and he immediately showed exceptional abilities. At age 15, he was playing at the highest level of competition in Czechoslovakia for Poldiasonp Kladno, and when he was 17, he became the youngest member of the Czechoslovakia national team. As a youth in his native country, he kept a photograph of American President Ronald Reagan in his school grade book, in detest of the policies of the Soviet Union. Jagr was the first Czechoslovak player to be drafted by the NHL without first having to defect to the West. His selection in the NHL draft came as the Iron Curtain was falling. Because of this, after Jagr was selected by the Pittsburgh Penguins with the 5th overall pick in the 1990 NHL entry draft, he was able to immediately relocate to North America from Czechoslovakia. When he attended the draft, in Vancouver, he was the first Czechoslovak player present at the NHL draft with his government's blessings. Jagr was a supporting player with the powerhouse Penguins that won back-to-back Stanley Cups in 1991 and 1992. He was one of the youngest players in NHL history, at age 20, to score a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals. Before he had a clear grasp of the English language, Jagr could be heard reading the daily weather forecast on Pittsburgh radio station WDVE in his broken, thickly accented English. He and teammate, and fellow countryman, Jiří Hrdina were promoted as the Checkmates, a play on the term checkmate from chess. He would also play Scrabble in an attempt to increase his English vocabulary. Some Penguins fans realized that the letters in his first name could be scrambled to form the anagram Mario Jr., a reference to teammate Mario Lemieux. In the 1994-95 season, Jagr won his first Art Ross Trophy after finishing the regular season with the most points in the NHL. He tied Eric Lindros with 70 points but won based on his 32 goals to Lindros' 29. The next year, Jagr set a record for most points, 149, by a European-born player. Both his 62 goals and 87 assists from that season still stand as career highs. His 1995-96 totals for assists and points stand as the records for right-wingers in those categories. After the 1997-98 season, Penguins captain Ron Francis signed with the Carolina Hurricanes, leaving Jagr the Penguins' captaincy. From 1997-98 to 2001, Jagr would win 4 straight NHL scoring titles. In 1999, he would win the Hart Memorial Trophy as the NHL's most valuable player, as well as the Lesterby Pearson Award. In 1998, he led the Czech Republic to a gold medal at the 1998 Winter Olympics. On December 30, 1999, against the New York Islanders, Jagr scored 3 goals and 4 assists for a career-high 7-point night. He would later match this feat on January 11, 2003 by once again scoring 3 goals and 4 assists in a game against the Florida Panthers as a member of the Washington Capitals. In 2001, Jagr was struggling to find his scoring touch and faced criticisms about his relationship with Penguins head coach Ivan Hlinka. With the return of Mario Lemieux from retirement, the Penguins had 2 superstars, but friction developed between the two. Jagr held the captaincy, but many fans regarded Lemieux as the talisman of the team. Additionally, the struggling, media market Penguins could, with Lemieux back, no longer hope to afford Jagr's high salary. Thus, on July 11, 2001, the organization traded him, along with František Kusura, to the Washington Capitals in exchange for Chris Beach, Michael Sivek and Ross Lupischuk. In 806 games with Pittsburgh, Jagr became only the second player, after Lemieux, to score 1,000 points as a Penguin. Jagr sits second behind Lemieux in career goals in franchise history and third in games played, assists and points, having since been surpassed by Sidney Crosby. Later in 2001, the Capitals signed Jagr to the then largest contract ever in NHL history at $77 million over 7 years, an average annual value of $11 million, with an option for an 8th year. However, Jagr did not live up to expectations in Washington, as the Capitals failed to defend their division title and missed the 2002 Stanley Cup playoffs. For the first time during his tenure with the Capitals, Jagr failed to finish among the NHL's top scorers, help his team qualify for the Stanley Cup playoffs, or make the NHL All-Star team. During the summer of 2002, the Capitals reunited Jagr with former teammate Robert Lang. In 2002-03, Washington finished 6th overall in the Eastern Conference but lost to the upstart Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the 2003 playoffs despite winning the series' first 2 games. The lack of organizational success prompted the Capitals to unload much of their high-priced talent in order to save money, not just a cost-cutting spree, but also an acknowledgement that their attempt to build a contender with high-priced veteran talent had failed. Disgruntled, Washington ownership spent much of 2003 trying to trade Jagr, but a year before a new collective bargaining agreement, CBA, was to be signed, few teams were willing to risk $11 million on Jagr. On January 23, 2004, Jagr was eventually traded to the New York Rangers in exchange for Anson Carter and an agreement that Washington would pay approximately $4 million per year of Jagr's salary. Jagr also agreed to defer, with interest, $1 million per year for the remainder of his contract to allow the trade to go through. Due to the new CBA signed before the start of the 2005-06 season, Jagr's salary was reduced to $7.8 million, the maximum allowed under the terms of the new salary cap. During the NHL labor dispute in 2004-05, he had played for HC Kladno in the Czech Republic, and afterward for Avangard Omsk in the Russian Super League, RSL. Jagr led the Czech Republic to gold at the 2005 World Hockey Championships in Austria and was elected a tournament all-star in the process. He also became a member of hockey's prestigious Triple Gold Club, players who have won a Stanley Cup, a World Hockey Championship and an Olympic gold medal. Prior to the 2005-06 season, the Rangers had missed the playoffs for 7 consecutive seasons. Following the fire sale of the high-priced, underachieving veterans that made up the team's roster, as well as the retirement of longtime captain Mark Messier, many experts picked the Rangers to be the worst team in the NHL. Jagr disagreed and promised the team would surprise a lot of people and make the Stanley Cup playoffs. He started strong during the beginning of the 2005 season and the return from the lockout of the NHL. He became only the 4th player in NHL history to score 10 or more goals in less than 10 games at the start of a season. His return to dominance helped the Rangers return to the Stanley Cup playoffs, but injuries to Jagr and others contributed to a 4-game sweep in the first round by the New Jersey Devils. Jagr scored his 1,400th point on a power play goal against the Philadelphia Flyers on March 2, 2006, pushing him past Jari Kurri into second place all-time among European-born players. He later passed Stan Mikita to become the all-time leader. On March 18, 2006, against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jagr became only the 6th Rangers player in team history to break the 100-point barrier, and became the only Ranger right winger to score 100 points in a season. On March 27, 2006, against the Buffalo Sabres, Jagr had a goal and an assist, which tied both the Rangers' single-season goal record of 52, Adam Graves, 1993-94, and the Rangers' single-season points record of 109, Gene Rattel, 1971-72. 2 nights later, on March 29, Jagr passed Rattel when he assisted on Petr Pruch's first-period goal against the New York Islanders' Rick DiPietro. On April 8, against the Boston Bruins, Jagr scored his NHL-leading 53rd goal of the season, breaking the Rangers' single-season goals record. After leading the NHL in points and goals for most of the 2005-06 season, Jagr was surpassed by the San Jose Sharks duo of Joe Thornton, 125 points, and Jonathan Cheechoo, 56 goals, losing both the Art Ross and Maurice Richard trophies in the final week of the season. Jagr finished with 123 points, 54 goals and 24 power play goals, second in the NHL in all 3 categories. He also finished third in the NHL in both assists, 69, and plus-minus, plus 34. However, just as in Washington, playoff success was not to be for Jagr, whose Rangers were swept in 4 games by New Jersey. In the series, he suffered a dislocated shoulder in the 3rd period of the first game of the series, which kept him from playing at his top form for the rest of the series. Jagr had surgery on the shoulder after the Rangers were eliminated from the playoffs. Despite being inched out by Joe Thornton for the Art Ross Trophy and Hart Trophy, League MVP, Jagr won his 3rd Lesterby Pearson Award as the NHL's most outstanding player. During his acceptance speech for the award, Jagr said, "With this award, you get voted on by players you play against every night, and I think they understand the game better than the media." He has been named to 7 NHL First All-Star teams. On October 5, 2006, before the first game of the 2006-07 season, against his former team Washington, Jagr was named as the 24th captain in the history of the New York Rangers, replacing Mark Messier, who had retired before the 2005-06 season. Jagr then proceeded to score a goal on his first shift in the game, just under 30 seconds into the new season. Jagr scored his 600th career NHL goal on November 19, 2006 against Tampa Bay goaltender Johan Holmqvist, making him the 16th player in NHL history to do so. Power play linemate Brendan Shanahan had scored his 600th goal almost 3 weeks earlier, making them the first teammates in NHL history to score their 600th goal in the same season. On February 10, 2007, against Washington, Jagr earned an assist on a goal by Michael Radziwiłł to record his 1,500th career point. He is only the 12th NHLer to reach this mark, and the 4th fastest player to do so after Marcel Dion, Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. On April 5, 2007, against the Montreal Canadiens, Jagr scored his 30th goal of the 2006-07 season to record 15 consecutive seasons of 30 or more goals, tying the NHL record held by Mike Gartner. After a regular season slowed by a weak shoulder, Jagr then led the New York Rangers to a sweep of the Atlanta Thrashers in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. The Rangers would fall to the Buffalo Sabres in Game 6 of the conference semifinals. On November 14, 2007, against New Jersey, Jagr scored his 4th goal of the 2007-08 season at the Prudential Center in Newark, making him the first player to score a goal in 53 different NHL arenas. On July 3, 2008, Jagr, an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his career, was informed by Rangers general manager Glenn Sather that the club would not offer him a new contract. Sather admitted that the two sides never engaged in detailed negotiations for a new contract, and that after many months of speculation, Jagr was seriously considering going to Russia to finish his career. Despite offers from other NHL teams, Jagr expressed a desire to possibly finish out his career at his father's club, HC Kladno. On July 4, Jagr agreed to a 2-year contract with Avangard Omsk of the Continental Hockey League. The contract was reported to pay Jagr the equivalent of $5 million annually. Jagr was named Avangard's captain on January 30, 2009. As a member of Avangard, Jagr was sitting next to Alexei Cherpanov, a first-round pick of the New York Rangers, who died during a game against Vitesse Chekhov. They were discussing the past shift and the 19-year-old Cherpanov collapsed onto Jagr on the bench at the Ice Hockey Center 2004 in Chekhov. In April 2009, Jagr publicly stated an interest in returning to the NHL, stating that he really just needed a break from the pressures of an 82-game NHL schedule. Jagr, who claimed to have lost 15 pounds since his last NHL season, and who was practicing a lot harder than he ever did in his life, stated that he would be interested in joining the Edmonton Oilers because of the interest they showed in July 2008. However, following the expiration of his initial contract with Avangard, Jagr signed a new contract with Avangard for the 2010-11 season. On July 1, 2011, Jagr returned to the NHL, but rather than signing with his original NHL team in Pittsburgh, he signed a 1-year, $3.3 million contract with the Philadelphia Flyers, the Penguins' cross-state rival. He scored his 1,600th NHL point during his debut game with the Flyers, assisting on a Claude Giroux goal as the Flyers won their season opener 2-1 over the Boston Bruins on October 6, 2011. Typically playing on the first line with Giroux and Scott Hartnell, Jagr was among the top scorers during the start of the 2011-12 season. He scored his first and second goals as a Flyer on October 24 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. On October 29, 2011, against the Carolina Hurricanes, he scored his 650th and 651st NHL goals. He scored his only goal of the 2012 playoffs during Philadelphia's series against Pittsburgh. The Flyers were eliminated by the New Jersey Devils, who would ultimately become the 2012 Eastern Conference champions. On July 3, 2012, Jagr signed a 1-year contract with the Dallas Stars reportedly worth $4.5 million. The signing marked Jagr's first time playing for a club in the Western Conference. Jagr said during a conference call 2 days later that the Montreal Canadiens had been his first choice as a free agent. "I always wanted to play in Canada and I wanted to go to Montreal if I had a chance, but Montreal wasn't interested," Jagr said. "All of a sudden I got a phone call from Stars general manager Joe Nieuwendyk that Dallas was interested." During the 2012-13 NHL lockout, Jagr played for his own team, Retyraj Kladno, in the Czech Extraliga. During the lockout, he scored 24 goals and 33 assists in 34 games and, before leaving Kladno for the Stars, was in second place of Czech Extraliga's scoring list. After the NHL lockout ended, he made his debut as a Star on January 19, 2013, when he tallied 2 goals and 2 assists in a 4-3 victory over the Phoenix Coyotes. Jagr reached the 1,000 assist mark on March 29, 2013 in a game against the Minnesota Wild, becoming just the 12th player to do so and the first non-Canadian NHLer to reach the milestone. On April 2, 2013, Jagr was traded to the Boston Bruins in exchange for Lane McDermott, Cody Payne and a conditional third-round pick in the 2013 NHL entry draft. He made his Bruins debut on April 4, scoring the lone goal in Boston's 1-0 win over the New Jersey Devils, and with his second Bruins goal, the first scored in a 3-0 shutout over the Florida Panthers on April 21, 2013, Jagr tied the record for the most game-winning goals in an NHL career, 118, previously set by Phil Esposito. When Jagr played in the first game of the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals, he set a new record for the longest gap between finals appearances at 21 years, surpassing the previous record of 19 years, which was established by Gary Roberts in 2008. Coincidentally, both instances involved someone with the Penguins at one end of those streaks. Also coincidental was that, as in his previous Stanley Cup appearance, Jagr's opponents were the Chicago Blackhawks. After the Bruins lost the finals to Chicago, the team announced on June 26, 2013 that they did not intend to offer Jagr a new contract. In July 22, 2013, Jagr signed a one-year contract with the New Jersey Devils. The contract included $2 million guaranteed and another $2 million as an incentive bonus if Jagr was to play in at least 40 games. Jagr, at age 41, hoped to help the Devils overcome the loss of Ilya Kovalchuk, who had previously departed for the KHL. Jagr scored his first goal as a Devil on October 7, 2013 in a 5-4 shootout loss to the Edmonton Oilers. The goal came on the 23rd anniversary of his first NHL goal which, coincidentally, was against the Devils. On November 21, 2013, Jagr tied Gordie Howe's record of game-winning goals with 121, with his 690th goal, which tied him in 9th place, with former teammate Mario Lemieux, for all-time goal-scoring leaders. On December 20, he scored his 693rd goal, putting him in 8th place over Steve Yzerman. A day later, Jagr tied Mark Messier for 7th place in NHL history for goals scored with 694. Later in the season, on January 14, 2014, he scored his 695th goal, passing Messier, putting him 14 goals away from passing Mike Gartner. On March 1, Jagr scored his 700th career NHL goal as the Devils won 6-1 against the New York Islanders at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. On April 8, near the conclusion of the Devils season, he was awarded the New Jersey Devils MVP award at their annual team award ceremony. He scored 2 points in his final game of the season, 2 assists in the third period, surpassing Gordie Howe for 8th place on the NHL's all-time list for career assists and tying Steve Yzerman for 6th on the all-time points list at 1,755. Jagr finished the season as the team's leading scorer, with his highest points total in a season since 2007-08. Jagr's play led the Devils to re-sign him to another one-year contract on April 30. He became the joint 6th highest scorer in NHL history in November 2014 after scoring his 708th NHL goal for the Devils against Boston. On December 8, in his 1,500th NHL game, he moved ahead of Marcel Dion for 5th place on the NHL's all-time points list with 1,772. On January 3, 2015, in a game against the Philadelphia Flyers, Jagr became the oldest player in NHL history to score a hat-trick at 42 years and 322 days. The record was previously held by Detroit Red Wings defenseman Nicklas Lidstrom. On February 26, 2015, Jagr was traded to the Florida Panthers in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2015 NHL entry draft and a third-round pick in 2016. He made his team debut on February 28 in a 5-3 Panthers win over the Buffalo Sabres and registered his first points with the team in the following game on March 1, posting a goal and an assist in a 4-3 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. On March 19, Jagr scored his 718th career goal against Detroit to move him past Phil Esposito and 5th on the all-time goal-scoring list. In a April 9, For the 2 Panthers' victory over the Bruins, Jagr registered 2 assists to give him 1,800 career points in the NHL and sole possession of 4th place on the all-time points list, surpassing former Penguins teammate Ron Francis. On April 11, in the Panthers' season finale, Jagr reached 2,000 NHL points, including playoff games, when he assisted on a Jonathan Huberdeau goal. He then scored his 800th NHL goal, including playoffs, later in the 3rd period. On April 12, one day after the end of the 2014-15 regular season, Jagr signed a new 1-year, $3.5 million contract with Florida for the 2015-16 season. Jagr reached multiple milestones as a Panther. On December 20, 2015, he moved into 4th all-time on the NHL scoring list, scoring his 732nd goal to move past Marcel Dion for 4th place in NHL history. On February 4, 2016, Jagr became the 6th player in NHL history to record 1,100 career assists. On February 20th, he scored his 742nd goal, surpassing Brett Hull for 3rd place in NHL history. In a March 7, 5-4 overtime loss to the Bruins, an assist on Alexander Barkov's goal put Jagr at 1,851 career points, passing Gordie Howe on the all-time points list and putting him in sole possession of 3rd place overall. With the Panthers qualifying for the 2016 playoffs, Jagr played in his first playoff series since the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals. Though he only registered 2 assists in the Panthers' 6-game first-round exit to the Islanders, who would win their first playoff series since 1993, he became the 5th NHL player all-time to record 200 career playoff points. At age 44, Jagr led the Panthers in scoring with 66 points. In reward for his strong play and leadership abilities, the team announced on May 5, 2016 that they had signed Jagr to a new 1-year, $4 million contract. On October 20, 2016, Jagr became the 3rd player in NHL history to score 750 goals. On December 22, 2016, he scored his 1,888th career point, surpassing Marc Messier to become 2nd in career points, and on February 15, 2017, his 45th birthday, he became the 2nd player to register his 1,900th NHL point. In 2017 on Twitter, as a free agent, Jagr tweeted, "FA 1994, all GMs called, FA 2017, 0 calls," accompanied by a trophy emoji and a smiley emoji, as well as pictures taken in 1994 and 2017. In the 1994 picture, a smiling Jagr is on the phone with an unspecified general manager. In the 2017 picture, he is seen looking at his mobile phone with a puzzled expression on his face. The Panthers organization announced shortly after that they would not offer Jagr a new contract. On October 4, 2017, Jagr signed a 1-year contract with the Calgary Flames. Jagr had indicated before that he would like to play professionally until age 50, but later said that it would be very likely that he would stop playing after the 2017-18 season, at which point he would be 46. He noted the tendency of teams to focus on younger players to the exclusion of older ones like himself, which he considers understandable, and in light of which he remarked, "I was pretty lucky." The Flames were Jagr's 9th NHL team, but his first Canadian team, which prompted him to say, "I want to get the experience so I can one day say I played for a Canadian team. So I'm here." On November 9, 2017 against the Detroit Red Wings, Jagr scored his first goal as a Flame, earning 2 points in a 6-3 win. However, on January 6, 2018, it was reported that Jagr and the Flames were negotiating the termination of his contract, as injuries had limited Jagr to a career-low 7 points, including the aforementioned 1 goal, in 22 games. On January 14, 2018, Jagr was placed on the injured reserve, retroactive to December 31, 2017, while the Flames called up Ryan Lomberg from their American Hockey League (AHL) affiliate, the Stockton Heat, in his place. On January 28, it was reported that Jagr was placed on waivers, signaling the end of his brief tenure with the Flames. He cleared waivers the following day and was assigned to retire Kladno in the WSM Liga. On February 3, 2018, Jagr played his first game for his hometown team, and his first game since December 31, 2017, playing nearly 20 minutes and recording 3 assists. In his 5th game for Kladno, he was injured and remained sidelined for the rest of the season with a knee injury. In order to be eligible for participation in the playoff finals, he played a few seconds in 10 playoff games. On May 14, Jagr announced his plans to remain with Kladno for his 30th professional season. On April 19, Jagr scored 4 goals in 1 game as Kladno was promoted to the top-flight Czech Extraliga. In 2022, at the age of 50 and spending most games in the dressing room, Jagr admitted he was considering retirement, being too busy with the team administration and lacking the motivation for the physically demanding game, saying that at most he will have to force myself to go play in the alumni game of the 2023 NHL Winter Classic featuring the Penguins. In conclusion, Jaromir Jagr's impact on the game of hockey cannot be overstated. He is a true legend of the sport and has left an indelible mark on the NHL, KHL, and international hockey as a whole. His unparalleled work ethic, determination, and passion for the game have made him an inspiration to countless hockey players and fans around the world. Jagr's career is a testament to the power of hard work and perseverance, and his legacy will continue to inspire future generations of hockey players for years to come. From his humble beginnings in Kladno, Czechoslovakia, to his storied career in the NHL, Jaromir Jagr has proven to be one of the greatest hockey players of all time. This concludes today's episode of Smoking Ice. Who would you like to see us cover next? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay exceptional. Thanks for watching.